Welcome to She Lancer, Mom Entrepreneur. I'm your host, Angela Olfest, otherwise known as VoiceOver Angela. In this podcast, we talk about my adventures in freelancing, my voiceover business, and everything else in between. Let's get started. Well, hey there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Thanks for joining me again today for another live Q&A session. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Angela. I am a full-time voiceover artist and audiobook narrator, and my channel here is dedicated to those of you just getting started out in this wonderful world of voiceover and audiobook narration. And through my channel, I share with you some tips and tricks and techniques that I use every day in my own voiceover business. And I answer your questions in these weekly Q&A sessions, which have turned more into sort of like a conversation and hangout. But that's okay. It's cool. I enjoy it. And I think you guys do too. If you're not new here, then you know every week we have a new poll because I like to pick your brains, and hopefully the poll answers some questions, or throughout the conversations about the poll, it answers some questions that you may have had on your own. So today's poll, and get my stuff together here, is: are you holding yourself back from moving forward due to fear? And fear comes in all kinds of forms, right? Fear comes in the form of imposter syndrome, comes in the form of procrastinating, which is where we procrastinate on moving forward because we still need to learn something. You know, I need to do this before I can move forward, or I need to learn this before I can move forward. Procrastinating, right? And yeah, or fear of even failing, fear of succeeding. Fear comes in all kinds of shapes and forms, right? So I wanted to know what you guys thought. So let's go over to Zippoll. We've got 23 votes so far. So four. It's going to be a good one. Okay, so 25 votes, excuse me. All right, so 26 votes. All right, so yes, 35% of you said yes, you are holding back. I appreciate you guys being honest, and let's be honest. Let's be honest. We're not trying to impress anybody here. Be real. Do you really think that you're holding yourself back in some way, shape, or form from moving forward in whatever business, venture, whatever it is that you want to do? Are you holding yourself back because of fear in some way, shape, or form? So 27 votes. 33% of you, so it's a good even split. A third of you said yes, a third of you said no, and a third of you said in some aspects yes. And I think the same goes for me. I think in some aspects I do myself hold myself back because of fear of whatever, right? XYZ. It could be anything. For me, I think being an introvert, there are some things that I hold myself back from doing just from fear of, being in front of people, sharing myself with people, being judged by people. And I think every single answer is correct and real. So don't feel bad if you said, yes, I am, because it is what it is, right? But what you do in realizing what kind of fear that is, that you acknowledge it, address it, and figure out how you can move past it. And not all forms of fear are easy to get past. Some of them take some work. Some of them take a lot of courage and determination and time to move through or past. And that's okay. Take the time to figure out what it is that you're afraid of, what you're doing to hold yourself back from doing it or moving past it, and do some work on yourself or with yourself to move past it. Yeah. Mini tangent to start to start the episode. So it actually ticked up a little bit to more of you saying yes. And I appreciate your candor and your openness, your honesty being honest with yourself is scary in itself. That's another form of fear, of being honest and realizing that we are human, that we're people. We're fallible. It's okay. We're not superhuman things that's what sets us apart from the AI, right? We have emotions, we have feelings. Okay, I have to stop and get off my tangent bus because I have a meeting in an hour and a half, so we're going to have to go through this quickly. All right, let's see who's first here. Craig. Craig says, "Good afternoon, Angela. Greetings from southbound Interstate 85. I'm not the one driving, thankfully. How you doing, Craig?" And I got your email and I just read through it. And Craig brought up an interesting point about something we were talking about in our platinum group recently about AI. So, I mean, it's something that we're going to have to deal with. And I think as time goes on, it's going to be an increasingly concerning thing for especially new talent coming in. So that was actually touching on one of the topics that I wanted to talk about today. And that was, let me just say this and we'll move to the comments. But what I wanted to tell you is that with the new voice actors coming into this space, audiobook narrators, voice actors, it's going to be, I think, a little bit more difficult for those of you coming in. And I'm not saying this I'm not like gatekeeping or anything. I'm not that guy. I think you guys have seen me enough to know that I'm not that guy. So, but I think it will be more difficult for those of you coming in. I think AI is something that we're going to have to deal with. And I think it's going to take some of the, maybe the YouTube jobs or the YouTube video narration jobs, maybe some of the smaller, more independent, smaller company type of jobs, the entry level, I would say, the jobs that come in. So I think with that, or knowing that, I think if those of you coming in, if you can learn other skills, because I think that is something that is going to be more valuable to our clients going forward, is our skill sets, not only as voice actors, but if we can edit video, if we can work with PowerPoints, if we can add music, if we have all of those skills, that we become much more valuable to our clients, right? And for audiobook narration, I don't know of any platforms right now that are actually accepting AI narration of audiobooks. So there's that right now. So you still have the opportunity to get into that. Audiobook narration as a new actor, but I would definitely get all of the training, get all of the support, the performance, the coaching, everything that you can do to make yourself a more formidable narrator, producer in this space off the bat. Because I don't know. The whole improbability, I don't know how AI is going to change. But that's a whole other topic, right? But anywho, if you're just coming in, I would definitely recommend getting into all of the other aspects that sort of go hand in hand with voiceover and get good at those as well, in addition to your voiceover skills and knowledge and talent and stuff like that. I'm getting sidetracked. I'm distracted by this super chat that just came in. Thank you so much, Sean. Thanks, Sean. I appreciate you. He says, "I do have a fear of dropping clients who are low payers to take a risk on increasing my rates with others." Yes. And I think me personally, what I have done, as you're first starting out, you have a set rate, right? And then you have some clients that may come back to you at that rate. And you come to the point where you decide to increase your rates. You don't want to alienate your other clients. But what I have done in the past is, because they were great clients and they came back to me often, and repeatedly, and we had a good relationship, I would give them a discount. I wouldn't I wouldn't keep them at the rate that they were, but I would tell them, hey, I had just increased my rates, but because you are a great and valuable client of mine that's been with me for a while, then I will offer you a discounted rate. And then at some point, we're going to go to, and then this is, of course, your choice. You can either go to your higher rate or just keep them at that discounted rate. So you're not still at that low rate, or the original rate, but you're at a discounted rate because you want to work with them and stay within their budget, right? Depending on whatever their budget is. But yeah, I've been there too, but that's what I've decided to do, and it worked. It worked well for me. Um, I'm just glancing over some of your comments. You guys are funny. And then Hat Powser. I like the little dancers. Good morning, Hat. How are ya? Eric is here. Hello, Eric. Hello, hello. Drive safe, Craig. Yeah, luckily he's not driving, so thank goodness for that. Hat says, good morning. Sunshine, sunshine, sunshine. It's actually raining here in Phoenix, which is nice. I'll take it. Craig says, we're hauling an ambulance. Oh, that's cool. That's got to be for the movie or something you're working on, right? That's cool. Rusty Killbilly is here. Hello. Hello. Hope you're having a great day. So far, so good. Yeah. Good day so far. I hope you are doing well. It's probably raining in Oregon. It's always raining in Oregon, it seems. JCCAOL says, hello today from Sub-Zero, Wisconsin. Okay, I will not complain about the weather here in Arizona. Sean Lester 007 says, at first I was worried about screwing up. I am getting plenty of work now, almost exclusively from Upwork. The holdback now is finding the time to learn how to grow on other platforms, I think. Yeah, and I think for most of us, that's a slow process because you don't want to overwhelm yourself by signing up with everybody and anybody you can find right off the bat. You sort of want to get a feel for how the platforms work and how quickly, like the time frames that you have, right? How quickly you can get X amount of word script done in X amount of time. Once you have sort of a pulse on how quickly you can get things done, then you can probably move on to other platforms and, slowly integrate yourself into them. But I would definitely keep looking at other platforms to join or other ways to find income. You don't want to put all of your eggs into just one basket. And again, I don't know what your situation is if you're just only on Upwork, but if that's the case, I would definitely look into other platforms, marketing yourself on social media to earn some direct clients, to find some direct work. You don't want to have all of your eggs in just one basket. Pat Jones, VO. Hello, hello. Hello, everyone. I hope your day is phenomenal. Well, I hope yours is phenomenal too. So far, so good. No complaints yet. Anthony is here. Good morning. Good morning and howdy. Voiceover lives. It does. It does. It lives. Grant. Good morning, Grant. Good morning, Angela, and everyone from wintry, cold, and snowy Columbus, Ohio. I don't know if I could do snow. I'm cold sitting here in 50 degrees. I don't know if I could do that. Hat Bowser says, to answer the poll, I'm a little bit afraid I'm going to find out my recording space noise is insurmountable. Sliding glass door over a freeway. It is a tough one. That is a tough one. I think for you, if you can, put something over that sliding glass door, like moving blankets, foam, both, anything that you can do. I mean, depending on what you can do in that space, but you want to try to muffle the sound coming from the other side of it, as well as possible reflections coming off the glass. Recording next to glass and smooth, hard surfaces like that is definitely going to create some echo. But I think if you can dampen that at all, that would definitely help with your noise issue, or move to a different place in your house if you can. That might be better suited or quieter for your purposes. Michael V. Hello, Angela, and all you Angelanos. Good morning. Pamela. Hi, Pamela. Morning from Port of LA. Beautiful day. Cargo ships working. Oh, my gosh. I bet you that is beautiful. I miss the water. I'm from California. I miss the water. I really do. And I bet you that's quite the view, although I'm sure they're noisy from time to time, right? Mary HP. Hi, Mary. How you doing? Happy Tuesday. Savannah's here. Hi, Savannah. Hey, Angela and all. I was wondering how important it is to have your own email domain. I'm working with my original Gmail account. Is that okay when starting out? Girl, I still have my original Gmail address. I have another one that is branded to my website through Wix, but I don't, maybe I'm doing it wrong, but I can't get it to sync up with stuff. And I miss a lot of stuff on that email address, but I resort back to my original Gmail address, and it's been working fine for me. So I think that's okay. It's worked for me for the last almost 5 years. Annie says, "Good morning from chilly Boise, Ohio. Idaho." Come on, mouth. Chilly Boise, Idaho. Today's first tongue twister. Thank you for that. Pamela says, "Sometimes it's flat overwhelming." I bet. The noise from the cargo ships. Ugh. Grant. So, yes, I'm a little bit nervous about starting commercial VO. Who do I go to learn that? Where do I find work? Is there more work in VO than audiobooks? There is absolutely more work in VO than audiobooks. If you think about all of the commercials, people, IVR, video games, everything with a voice is VO work. But if you're looking for commercial VO, obviously as you go along in your pursuits in researching everything there is about voiceover, I know I did, you'll find that there are some voice actors that have sort of like their niche, right, of what they're good at what they do the most of. Like for me, audiobooks. But then you'll have people like Anthony Pica, perhaps, who does a lot of commercial stuff. You'll have Anne Ganguza, who does a lot of e-learning stuff. As you go along and you start to find people, Bill DeWeese, I think, does a lot of commercial stuff, right? So I would reach out to someone offering courses on the particular type of VO that you want to explore and that you would want training in, and reach out to them and see if they can help you with, giving you some of that secret sauce and finding how to get into that specific niche of voiceover and what to expect, tips on your performance, stuff like that. So that's what I would do, is just look around and find somebody who is good at that particular type of voiceover that you want to get into and reach out to them. If they offer coaching, mentoring services, training classes, I would definitely do that. Hat says, "Also, I'm afraid dealing with clients is going to be a nightmare based on some of the posts I'm reading." It can be, but you have to keep in mind that on social media, we tend to post stuff that is devastating, terrible, horrible drama, right? We don't post about the great stuff as often. So you do have clients that I'm not going to say are a nightmare, but they can be very particular in the way that they want things done. That might be a little bit difficult at times. However, that is only, for me, in my experience, only 5 to 10% of the time. Maybe more closer to 5, maybe more like 7% of the time. It's not all of them. I have a lot of great clients that I've worked with for years, and they've been nothing but just sweethearts and just awesome people. So don't base the entire experience or what you can experience in this industry based on what you see and hear on social media, because that most of the time is just going to be the negative stuff, right? So don't let that keep you back. Jason, hello. Good morning to the lovely Anne. Angela, the Angel. Mary HPVO, deaf procrastinating, even on jobs I auditioned for and I'm working on. It's a thing. It's a thing. I caught myself doing it. I didn't know what procrastinating was back then. This is just a term that is relatively new to me, but it makes perfect sense. But you need to just move past it. You just need to shut up the doubt. I've gotten very good at compartmentalizing stuff. Like I'll put this fear or whatever, I'll just go, okay, I can't deal with this. I need to put it in a box and move it past me. And I need to focus on bringing income into my business. There's taxes, there's all of this overhead, there's all of these things that I need to do to keep myself going. keep food on the table and paying the bills, right? I can't worry about this stuff. This fear is not serving me. So I'm going to put it in a box. I'm going to put it over here and I'm going to focus on what I need to do and move forward. That's what I do anyway. I hope that helps, Mary. Blaze. Hi, Blaze. Mecha Die. I said it right this time. Lacking energy at the end of the day and worried I'm not going to put my best foot forward or even poop the bed completely. Blaze. I completely understand what you're saying. I too had a very active job when I was doing this part-time. I had, 10 plus hours a day of walking. I walked 13 miles a day most of the time, in and out of cars, talking to people up and down stairs, running back and forth across a lot. I understand I had a very active job and I was tired at the end of the day. But again, that comes to you pushing past it, knowing that you have things to do if this is what you want to do. You have tasks, you have jobs, you have things that need to be done to keep you moving forward. And again, it doesn't have to be a monumental, task in one day. You can break this elephant down into smaller bites and take little nibbles off of it every day. Just keep moving forward. Don't be so worried about what could or maybe or, possible outcomes in the future that may or may not happen. You have to keep moving forward and hope for the best, right? Just know that you did what you could do to keep moving forward and just put all that other stuff into a box and put it to the side and focus on what needs to be done and get it done. Elizabeth. Hi, Angela. I answered in some aspects, yes, because imposter syndrome creeps in sometimes. It's frustrating and keeps me from marketing myself more. Imposter syndrome comes knocking on my door every day. Every day. And I choose to ignore it. I say, no, sit down, shut up. I've got work to do, right? It's the same thing. You have to just take all of that, take it all in a breath if you want to, if you want to visualize it as a breath. Take in a nice clean breath and exhale all of that garbage, put it in a box and put it to the side and focus what needs to be done and just get it done. And if marketing is your thing, then do a little bit of marketing. Break it down. Figure out which platform you want to market on or how you want to market. If it's direct emails, if it's cold calling, if it's social media, if it's what, figure out how you want to do it. And then the next day, figure out, okay, this is how I'm going to do it. I need to figure out how I'm going to do it. Am I going to write emails? Am I going to write myself a script and record myself for social media? How am I going to do this? Break it down into chunks and then do a little bit every day and then just, rinse and repeat once you've figured out a way that works for you, right? Had Pauser, thank you for the hearts. Scott Fields, procrastination. Yes, it's changing that mindset to wait for a response from one audition, excuse me, before sending out another. You can't wait. You can't wait on a response from an audition. You have to keep moving forward because if you think about it's sales, right? It's sales. So it's a numbers game. And that's true for anything in sales. 10% typically is usually a good return on your efforts. So even a 10% of a yes, we'll hire you, is you have to figure out how, first of all, I'm getting ahead of myself. First of all, you have to figure out how much you need to make every month, right? And then if you figure 10% of what you get back of the auditions that you send out, 10% of those is a job hired, and then figure out what kind of jobs you need to do if you got 10% of them to make that number that you need to make to stay afloat. And then you need to figure out, okay, well, what is the total number of auditions that I need to do, to win that 10% of them to make what I need to make. So with that ideology, you need to not stop and wait for a response on an audition. You need to keep auditioning. Audition, 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 audition. And again, you don't have to do like 20 of them in a day. You could do, depending on your schedule, if you wanted to, yeah, great, do it. but you could do, 2 today, 2 tomorrow, 5 today, 5 tomorrow, whatever your schedule allows, but don't sit and wait for a response to move forward, I guess is what I'm getting at. Anthony says, I'm only human. Fear is natural, but it is necessary to experience success. It's all in how one handles the fear to use it to energize us. That's absolutely true. And I always say that failing, a lot of us are afraid to fail. And this is scary. You're starting out a business, right? You're a business. So you wear a lot of hats. There's a lot of responsibility on your shoulders. So fear is a natural thing, and fearing failing is a natural thing, but I don't see failing, and I didn't always see it this way. I'm not going to say that I'm, but failing is good, because through failing, we learn so much more than we would have not failing. We have learned what not to do, or maybe how to do something better. But those lessons keep us humble, in addition to we're learning new things, right? Failing is priceless. And then, yeah, some failures are worse than others, of course, but there's still something to be learned from each and every time that we fail. So you shouldn't fear it per se, because it's a learning opportunity, which is only going to make you stronger in your business. I'll abort the tangent bus. I know. Eric says, at Sean Lester 007, this completely. Yeah, he made a great point. Grant says, I'm actually sitting in on a round table this weekend about how AI is going to affect all industries. This panel is embracing it and suggested I sell my voice to AI generators. I had someone approach me last week about, at least they were upfront, I'll give them that, and asked if it would be okay if they used my voice, like if they paid me to narrate the script and they in turn used my voice. And I said, no, no, thank you. And there are some voice actors that are embracing this. And maybe there's something that I'm missing. I don't know. I haven't looked into it. I haven't gone completely down the rabbit hole of this. But from what I know right now, I'm not open to doing that. But it would be interesting to see what is said, Grant. So you might have to share some details with us after your roundtable. Pamela says, Wondershare is a free video software. If you can follow audio editing, that isn't much harder. There's actually a handful of them. I did a video a year or two ago now, I think, on the different free video editing software that is out there and available. I definitely check that out, but Wondershare is definitely one of them. But it's just one of those things. It's another tool in your tool belt, right? If you can do more than just voiceover, I think you're going to make yourself that much more valuable and appealing to clients. Scott Field says, getting overwhelmed on trying to join too many websites at once. Now she tells me. Yes, I would say, for me, I started out with 3. I started out with ACX, Fiverr, and Upwork, right? And then I gave each of them my attention and built them out, kind of fleshed them out individually. I started with ACX, then Fiverr, then Upwork. And then once I got a feel for those, then I started to join some of the others just to put my profile on, like on the free level, just to be there. And then when it came to a point where I could join, or there was like a discounted membership fee or something, then I joined it, tried it. And then I didn't have to do really anything else other than refresh some demos because I was already there, right? I added myself on the free level before that. But it can be really overwhelming if you think about all of the places where someone can contact you that you have to stay on top of, in addition to email and social media and all those things. That's a lot. So start small and then start to feel your way through it and branch out to other websites. But there are a lot of them, literally over 100. And I see new ones all the time. Janeri's here. Hey, Janeri. Hi, Angela. I almost gave up trying. I've been rejected many times in ACX, but I will move on. I haven't really auditioned a lot. How offer often do you audition when you were working full time? Um, I really don't remember. But I want to say that knowing what I didn't know now, obviously, I was much like, some of the others here where I would audition and wait to see what happened, fearing that I would get, like, if I sent in three auditions, my fear was that I'd get all three and then I'd overwhelm myself. But then I had somebody say to me, then just schedule them appropriately. If you get all three, then schedule them back to back to back. You don't have to do all three at the same time. Just don't stop auditioning. Audition, audition, audition. And so I want to say, because I was working so much, I did maybe 3 to 5 auditions a week. Maybe, maybe. It wasn't a ton, but again, I didn't know then what I know now. So I go in retrospect, I should have auditioned more. I should have. Grant says sliding glass door over a freeway. Check out a product called Indo. What is it? What is it, Grant? What is Indo? We'll have to check that out. Danielle's here. Hi, Daniel. What do you think of a finish that is not your name? For example, Mountain View Voiceover Studio. I think that's fine. I think what I went with was just happy happenstance that I went with voiceover Angela, and then used it everywhere, but it doesn't necessarily have to have your name in it. I think it would help in the respect that if you're on a platform that you can't use like a username or a moniker, you have to use your name, and someone decided to search you off of that platform, it would be probably harder to find you if your name isn't in your business name. But I don't think it's completely necessary. I think as long as you can tie your name to your business name in every way, shape, or form, that the client wouldn't have too hard of a time finding you, I think that's still a good thing. I was talking with someone yesterday with this same very issue, that their business name did not include their name, right? Their actual name. But I think it still works as long as you're tying that name with your name everywhere and anywhere you can, so clients can still find you, or even in the SEO somehow, if there's some way to tie your name in there. Chris VGL says, how hard is it to change your demos on the Wix website? I'm looking to start my website, and I know changing demos often over the first 10 weeks is important. It's fairly simple. I have the premium, I forget what the name is, but I have the package where you have the audio player and the video player. For the videos, I upload them to YouTube, and then I embed the link onto Wix for the video player. For the audio player, it's just a matter of upload, download. It's super simple. Or delete an old one, upload a new one. It's super simple. Super simple. Edwin Double says, good afternoon from Charlotte, North Carolina. And punch fear in the face. Yes, punch him right in the face. Darn it. With so much going on, if it hasn't been punching me back. Cue the fight music for your God-given dreams time. Yes, I totally get it. Yeah, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. Fear is tough. Fear is tough, but I think recognizing and acknowledging it is one of the harder things to do, because we don't want to admit that maybe we're afraid, or maybe we don't want to admit that we're wrong, or that we're not ready. We don't want to admit that to ourselves, but we know in our heart of hearts that it's true. So just acknowledge it, fix whatever it is that maybe not fix, but address whatever it is that you're afraid of, and work through it to get past it, or just punch it in the face with some great fight music, whatever you need to do. Mary says totally helped. Great. Wonderbar. Michael V says at Hat Powser, clients are people too. They have great days and horrible days, just like us. Just be you and you'll be great. Yep. And you utilize your great customer service skills, right? because he's absolutely right. Treat your clients how you would want to be treated. Absolutely. Rowena, good evening from Philippines. Good evening. Thank you for joining. Blaze says, thank you. I appreciate it. I got you. I got you, Blaze. I got you. Phil's here. Hey, Angela, what I'd miss. Okay, so we're going to rewind a half an hour and go through everything that we've talked about. But I'll tell you what, Phil, we're going to go ahead and check the polls. But so far, today's poll question is, are you holding yourself back from moving forward due to fear? And again, fear comes in lots of shapes, sizes, forms, times within our life and our career. So, but again, acknowledging that you have a fear of something, whatever it is, and addressing it in the best way that you can, I think is a great way to move forward. I feel a tangent coming on. I'm trying to suppress it. Okay, we're going to the poll. 51 votes. Okay, so 43% of you, a good chunk of you said yes. And again, I appreciate your honesty. No one's judging here. We're all in the same boat. We're all trying to make something happen here, right? We're all humans. So thank you for being honest and open. 43% of you said yes. 24% of you said no. And then 33% of you said in some aspects, yes. And if you said no, then that's fabulous. I mean, good job, you. I would love to know some of that secret sauce, but and we're all human. Everybody's got some fear in some shape or form. But thank you, everybody, for sharing and being open and honest with me and everybody else here. Then I lost my oh, there it is. Mark's here. Good morning, Angela. Thanks for the inspirational and motivational topics this morning. I'm just glad to be here, but I'm glad that you found something useful and helpful in this topic. But I think it's especially with all of the influx of new people that I've seen come into this space. Welcome to the VO family, by the way. But just know that it's going to be, the longer you wait to get into this, I think it's going to be harder on you because of the AI thing, because of the sheer volume of people coming into it. And mind you, not everybody is going to stick with it. Some people may find as they start this that they don't have the stamina, they don't have the time or the interest in learning all of the things that go into it. So a lot of people just starting out have great intentions in the beginning, but their why maybe wasn't strong enough to keep them in this. So don't lose faith if you are dead set on doing this. I applaud you. It takes a lot of courage and stamina. This is a marathon. This is a business you're starting. So stick with it and learn everything that you can, everything that goes hand in hand with voiceover. As I mentioned before, if you can do video editing, add music, sound effects, if you can get good at audio editing, everything that goes along with this, you're going to be even more valuable and appealing to clients. So learn all that you can and put all of those tools in your toolbox. Hat says, Michael V, thumbs up. Yes, Michael V. Take it in as a breath. Sounds like you are channeling some meditations. I do a lot of them. And I'm glad that I do because they definitely help. It's like programming. Even me saying it over and over and over for, all the clients that I work for, it definitely helps. It helps me. Makes me more mindful and to see things a little bit differently. Definitely helps. Everybody take a breath in. Okay. Edwin 00 says, my fight music is from The Last Dragon, or if you're about that anime life, My Hero Academia. Love ya. Awesome, Angela. I don't know either of those. I'm sorry to say. I'm not a big anime person. I know. I'm just a little old school, I suppose. Although anime's been around for a long time, so that doesn't really apply. Ignore me. Masonry Construction says, Suggestion for brand new VOs: be willing to work cheap. Any other industry, we understand the importance of being interns, working for cheap or free. Bling for our resumes, right? Yeah, yeah. And I did it. That's how I started, because again, we go back to um, with the internship ideology, right? When you're working for free, you're still learning, you're still feeling things out, you're still after that social proof on these platforms, those reviews, right? On Fiverr and Upwork and all of that stuff. And to sometimes get that and to learn the process and how you and what it takes for you time wise to get things done, you might have to take on some of these lower paying jobs. But in regards to what I was saying at the very beginning about AI maybe taking some of those low paying jobs away from voice actors, because maybe the client doesn't care if it's a voice actor or an AI, right? Then some of those might be going away, is what my fear is. So that is when I say, learn all that you can to make yourself more formidable in this space, to have more talents and skills to offer clients. Um, but it'd be really interesting to see how things go from here. But just as a side note, me personally, anytime that I've heard like a YouTube channel use an AI voice to narrate their, like, say it's like a top 10 video or something, and they have an AI voice narrating the script, I I don't watch it. I can't watch it. It's like nails on a chalkboard. I can't listen to it. And I know a lot of people feel the same way. Non-voice actors feel the same way. So I don't know how long that's going to be a thing. It may be a thing for a little while until they realize that AIs aren't worth it, right? And they come back to voice actors with reckless abandon. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But until we get to that point, learn all that you can. Be ready. Tiffany's 80s Dream says, I have learned that planning ahead sort of doesn't work for me. If I do a daily intention, I tend to be more successful. But I'm going to work on my plan ahead skills because they're needed to succeed. Definitely. You want to have some sort of a goal or place, that place called there. You want to have that place or that goal set out at a specific time. And if you have to, chunk it down into smaller to-do tasks, daily to-do tasks, right? So definitely, that'll definitely help you to keep moving forward if you have to. Like I said before, I use an agenda book that's got like daily chunks on it. Like every day's got a little block of writing space, and then I write down everything that needs to be done that day. And that's just partly because I'm, older and my memory is just absolute hot garbage. But above and beyond that, I want to make sure that I'm still moving forward on each and every project that I have. So I write down, okay, I need to do this today, or, I write down all the things that need to be done that day. No tangent, no. Yeah, okay, I read that one. Sorry, Tiffany. I brain fart. Scott, yes, I'm starting to learn. A good example was I auditioned for an audiobook back in June and got an offer in December to narrate the book, my first audiobook. Awesome. Yeah, because you never know. You never know, too, when those rights holders are going to get back to, maybe they take a break. Maybe they take, a holiday, an extended holiday or something has come up and their audiobook production has to take a back seat for a couple months. You never know. So don't ever wait on those auditions. Just keep going. Annie. Hi, Annie. Is it way bright? Regarding people selling their voices for AI, there is a real problem with a lack of solidarity for other VOs, making a few bucks today at the expense of harming future jobs for all of us. Yeah, I would agree, and that goes with a lot of aspects of this business. But everybody's entitled to their own opinions. Unfortunately, everybody's entitled to do what they feel is right for their business. So I respect everybody's opinions and the way they do things, but when it comes down to a learning opportunity for a client, if they are I don't want to get into like super specific stuff, but if a client has a problem with something that is VO related, I will take that opportunity to educate them that it's not fair or proper for a voice artist. So in that respect, I take solidarity for other VOs. But for this new emerging technology, what can we do? We can't force other people to do what we feel is right, unfortunately. So we just have to do what we feel is right and keep moving forward and hope for the best. But I see what you're saying, Annie. Phil says, Angela, have you shared the message I sent you around Christmas on Messenger? Maybe it could help others get a confidence boost. I recall the email, but no, I did not. I don't remember why I did not. I'll have to go back and look at it, Phil. I'm sorry. Bear with me. I have lots of, thousands of emails in my inbox that probably need attention. But no, I'll go back and look at it, Phil. Hat says, thanks at Grant. Searching now. Interesting to know what that is. Eric says, regarding being afraid of getting too many accepted auditions, in my honest opinion, we should be so lucky as to have choices to choose from. That would be my dream. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because if you get a job offer, it doesn't mean that you have to take it. Yeah, you auditioned for it, but it doesn't mean that you have to take it. You might have to choose one or two and say, hey, when I auditioned, I was open and available, but now I am not. Or you could just schedule it for a little bit further down the line, maybe a month away, 2 months away, however long you need. That's a great point, Eric. Grant says to Janeri, I submitted 5 auditions a day to ACX before I got hired. Just looked for new things every day until I hit. Yeah, and keep in mind, if you don't win a job, it doesn't necessarily mean that there's something wrong with you. It could be that you're just not the voice that they had in their head. Because when an author's writing a book, they have a particular voice or a tone for their characters and for their book in general. And they're looking for a voice that somewhat is similar to that, right? And it might not be your voice. It could be somebody, it could be maybe something completely different from what they even thought. Maybe they had a certain voice in their head, and then as they were listening to auditions, they come across another voice that was exactly what they wanted, but didn't know that they wanted at the time, right? So it's not always necessarily something that you did wrong or the way that your room sounds. It's just they were looking for, you just weren't the voice that they were looking for, right? Michael V says at Janeri, if you give up, you will deprive everybody of the chance to listen to the books that you would have narrated. Could you live with that? Great point. Don't deprive us. Don't deprive us. Grant says Indo is a window insert that was designed for high rises in New York City. It helps with both insulation and noise reduction. Claims to save 20% on energy bills and reduces noise by 70%. Yeah, but how expensive is that? I have to wonder. But cool. A window insert. Interesting. Chris VGL says, thank you, Angela, for all your work. You are the reason I haven't given up and keep moving forward. Ugh. Really? Don't tell me that. Stop. Again, I'm just happy to be here. If you guys get anything out of any of these, I'm tickled. But I'm proud of you, Chris, for not giving up. That's all you. That's your choice to keep moving forward. I'm glad that I was just a small part of that, but that's all you. That was your choice. So good on you. Keep going. Hat says, it's in your RX-10 tangent suppression. Oh my God. Oh, that is the funniest thing I have seen. Oh my gosh. I need to hit that button. That needs to be on my interface. Tangent suppression. Tangent suppression. Kimberly Bryant I'm currently trying to write 3 different 10 to 15-second scripts to showcase my voice, and everything I come up with sounds stupid. I decided to put myself on a deadline. That's good. Put yourself on a deadline, and what you think might sound stupid might not sound stupid to somebody else. Keep that in mind too. I would say don't get too caught up on, just do it. What was said in a past live? Just shut up and go record something, or punch fear in the face and go record something. The sounding stupid is a form of fear. So just tell it to shut up, punch it in the face, and record it anyway. You can always write another script later, but start with something. Otherwise, you're going to get caught up in rewriting the script and rewriting the script and rewriting the script, right? Until it's right. But when will it ever be right? Maybe never. So just record it and move on, and, record it again later. Justin Miles. Thank you, Angela, for sharing your talent, wisdom, and insight. As they say, better late than never. Yes, I'm glad that you could attend. I'm glad that you're here. I do this every week. Tip your waitress. I'm here every week. I'm just glad you're here. Thank you for sharing. Michael V. G. Hot garbage for a memory sounds like an upgrade for me. What would be worse than hot garbage? Well, there's a few things, aren't there? Sean Lester 007 said, imposter syndrome. The VO business has grown to the point where I have to choose either this business or a steady gig that isn't as fulfilling for me. That, I think, that would be something horrible to be faced with. But I think what it comes down to, Sean, is that you have to do what is right for you. If this is something that may be a dream of yours, but it's just not, no matter what you throw at it, no matter how much time invested, no matter how much training, and you have to bite that bullet and take on another job just to put food on the table and keep a roof over your head, do what you got to do. Take care of you. And dreams can always come. It doesn't have to be now. Maybe now isn't the time. But do what you got to do, to take care of business and to keep food in your mouths. Do what you got to do, buddy. You can always come back to it later, right? Everybody's path is different. Hat says, Michael V, nah, hot garbage is the basic package. Dumpster fire is the upgrade. Hat, you are hilarious. CRE, I'm looking into voice exercises courses to help me develop. The more I audition, the more critical I become of my voice. Same. I'm new to this, so imposter syndrome is still very present. And I'm a few years in. I'm almost 5 years in, and imposter syndrome is still a thing. I don't think it ever goes away. But the becoming more critical as you move along is definitely also a thing that I think that we all experience, because we start to learn the things to not do, and then we catch ourselves doing it. If you watch a bajillion videos on people, voice actors that say, okay, don't do this and don't do that and take these out and adjust these. And once you hear about those, you can't unhear them. It just sort of opens the floodgate to everything wrong with your voice. But you can't get caught up in that stuff, because what may be a problem for somebody else may not be a problem for you. You might have a completely different problem, right? And you're focusing on the wrong thing. So I think ultimately, to not be so critical of yourself, you have to get comfortable with your voice and what is not necessarily a problem that you think may be a problem. And by doing that, you could join a Facebook group that allows you to upload a demo and have other people listen to it and say, hey, maybe you should consider adding like a de-esser, or maybe you got a little bit of mouth noise, or there's nothing wrong with this at all. You sound amazing, right? But I think having outside input is definitely going to help you determine whether or not you should be as critical of your voice as you are, because we're all super critical of our own voices, especially because you hear it in your head all the time as you're speaking. But then when you hear it back into your ears on playback, it sounds completely different. So we're super critical of it. Mary says, I try to take everything that is offered and schedule deadlines with folks weeks apart. I need the experience of all aspects, even boundaries. Boundaries. Yes. That is something I learned. I think one of the things I learned the hard way too was not creating boundaries and expectations up front for clients. I'm telling you, answer all their questions up front. Don't leave anything vague. Set all the expectations, what they can expect from you up front. It'll make setting those boundaries a little bit easier for you. Chris VGL says, as an author, please know we change our minds a million times a second. Please don't take that to heart. We are the most indecisive people, especially fiction authors. Yeah, and I mean, people. We're all people. And if we don't get back to somebody right away, doesn't mean that we don't want it, or maybe we've changed our mind completely. Maybe something came up. Especially right now with all of the the crud and it, with all of the oh my god. Like the flu and all of the stuff that's going around. Everybody's getting sick, is what I was trying to say. So, don't just sit there and hold your breath and wait for someone to get back to you. Just keep auditioning. Sorry, guys. I just got scratchy throat. See? Lots of crud in the air. Jody Kramer. Let me click on you. Hold on, Jody. There you are. New to your channel, and my husband and I are new to VO work. Excited to learn and create. Cool. That's awesome. Welcome to the VO family, to you and your husband. Warm greetings and salutations. And there's a lot to be done in this industry and learning this industry. So strap on your seatbelt. But welcome. Chris VGL says this year's mantra, just do it. Go record something. Yeah. Punch fear in the face and just do it. Go record something. Scott Field says, thank you for that, for your contribution of your knowledge and experience. You're so very welcome. I thank you all for being here. We got almost 50 people here. It's amazing. Thank you all for taking a slice of time out of your day to sit here and listen to me tangent for an hour. Masonry Construction says, show up, suit up, fake it till you make it. Yep, and learn along the way. Leslie, I really appreciate the poll today. I keep plugging away and I get a lot of info from your tangents. Good, keep plugging away, and I'm sorry about the tangents, but I'm glad that they are somewhat useful. Tom Hess Voice says, we have so much to do in coming up with demos. Don't make it harder by trying to write your own scripts. There are many sites to find sample scripts for all genres. Use those and work on your voice. The only thing with those, Tom, is that I have found that if you read some of the fine print for some of those sites that host sample scripts, they don't want you to use them in demos. They only consider them as like practice scripts, right? So maybe taking some cues from scripts that you see and then massaging it into your own script would be ideal for a demo. But, and this isn't all sites, but I have seen it on some sites where they say, use these for practice, not for demos. So make sure that you check the site that you're using to make sure that that fine print isn't there. Elizabeth says, Hat Powser, are those plugins available on Audacity? Oh my gosh, you guys. Mason Reconstruction says, on that interface, be sure and always select the decriticizer option right next to the tangent remover. Coach Gary. You guys are the best. Oh my God. You guys are the best. Decriticizer. Someone needs to get on the phone with iZotope and get a tangent remover and a decriticizer added. And Bowser. Sibilance is another huge issue for me. Found, downloaded 2 different free de-essers that YouTube comments all said worked great. Nope. Same. I have found that as much as I love this new interface, it's from Universal Audio, the Volt, it makes me very sibilant, a lot more sibilant than my last interface. So it took a little extra massaging in my effects rack to reduce some of the sibilance. You're hearing it all like live and unbridled right now because I'm not using any effects right now. So you're getting the full brunt of my S's right now. But I have found that the de-esser on from iZotope next to the decriticizer is pretty good. However, the best results I have found if you use Audition, and I don't know if some of the other DAWs have some of these effects that come with them, but Audition has a good de-esser, and you can also find and surgically remove or reduce your sibilance in the parametric equalizer. And if your DAW has an equalizer like that where you can adjust it, you might be able to reduce your sibilance that way too. I think Mike Russell and a couple others have great videos on how to do this here on YouTube. So I would definitely check those out. That might help you, Hat, to reduce your sibilance. Free for You says, "Hi, Angela. What do you think about Upwork? Do you have any experience by working in it as a voiceover? And who's the best, Fiverr or Upwork?" I have worked with Upwork quite a bit, not as much as Fiverr, but I find that that's not always the same with everybody. Like some people do a lot better on Fiverr than they do on Upwork, and then vice versa. Some people do much better on Upwork than they do on Fiverr. But I have found mostly, well, I guess a little bit of everything on Upwork, but definitely not as much as Fiverr. But yeah, Upwork is another great site where you can find a lot of work, and it's not as stringent, I guess, or strict about things as Fiverr is. So Upwork's a little bit more relaxed, but a good place to find work for sure. William says you can use Chat GPT to come up with scripts. That's absolutely correct. I didn't even think about that. You can. Chat GPT, you just put in a couple of prompts, like an idea of what you want it to write for you, and it'll write a script for you. Great point, William. Jody says, we converted our closet into a sound, got Audacity and equipment. Now we just need to learn where to go and how to get auditions. Any suggestions would be helpful. Jody, there is a lot to cover there to answer your question. I would say watch a lot of YouTube videos. Watch a lot of YouTube videos. Depending on what it is that you want to do, there are sites that are specific to specific things, like ACX is for audiobooks. Fiverr and Upwork, you can find everything on them, audiobooks plus IVR plus e-learning plus commercial work, on those sites. And some of the other sites are like voices.com, Voice123 is mostly commercial or e-learning, and IVR, not so much audiobook. So you had to figure out what you want to do. If you want to do a little bit of everything, then get on some sites that offer a little bit of everything. But watch a lot of YouTube videos. There are a lot of great people on YouTube, in addition to my videos, where we talk about all the sites specifically and what they offer and how to get started on them. And then coaching, training is, especially now, is going to be probably an absolute must to get started. JFree906, always enjoy all of your advice. Thanks for helping us. You're very welcome. Thank you for being here. I do have to get going for a meeting. I have a new mentee that I'm meeting today, so I need to wrap this up. So I'm going to read these last two comments here. Hat Pauser says, so are the de-essers and declickers actually EQs that will override or replace other EQ depending on what you do last? Or if they are, can you apply multiple EQs? You could apply multiple EQs, but I think just one. I mean, the less amount of effects that you have to add is better. You don't want to put too much effect on your voice because it will end up destroying the sound of your voice and the natural nuances of your voice. But the de-essers and the declickers, I think, are just that. Basically, it's a program that is specifically targeting a specific frequency or sound, right, that is applied. And you can more than likely accomplish the same effect with just your own like parametric equalizer on Adobe Audition. Although The declicker might be a little bit more difficult to do. So I would say have a parametric equalizer or an equalizer that addresses some highs, some lows, maybe attacks your sibilance a little bit, and then have another effect that comes in behind it to clean up some of the mouth clicks and stuff like that. Maybe the decriticizer. But you obviously don't want to put too much effect on your voice and end up destroying it in the process. I hope that answers your question. Masonry Construction says, as a writer or performer, we have the absolute right to parody commercials. Make a funny version of a Pepsi commercial. Protected speech. Go Coach Gary. That's a great point. That's a great point, Gary, for sure. Leslie says, thank you for today. Little flower. Oh, awesome as usual. You guys are awesome. You guys are all awesome for being here. I appreciate all of you and all of the time that you guys spend to just hang out with me and join the conversation and keep the conversation rolling. I appreciate that. But I guess that is it for today. So thank you for being here. And I will see you all next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Have a great week, everybody. Bye. Thank you so much for listening today. I really appreciate it. If you have an extra moment, please feel free to leave a review. We'll see you next time.